What is up, guys? It's Penguin Typer here, and today I will be rating your Nitro Type suggestions. Let's get right into it. So a couple of days ago, Nitro Type Hub did a poll on Twitter, and I also did something on my community poll, and basically we were asking, what were your guys' suggestions to add into Nitro Type? Things that should be in the game or should be brought back to the game or anything like that. Basically any way that you can improve the game possible. And the community have had a lot of great ideas in the past, so I wanted to see if we could have some great ideas now. And I picked 5 ideas from people across the internet that I thought were either very good or came up a lot. So like a lot of different people said the same exact thing or some variation of a thing. Put it in here. We got 5 ideas that we're going to go over today, and I'm basically going to go over some of the pros, the cons, and should it be added to the game. Let's get right into it. Also, the last time I did one of these, I believe it was the updates page, and that actually did get added into the game, so there's a good chance that if any of the admins are watching right now, a lot of these are serious suggestions, and we would love to see maybe a couple of them added into the game. Not all of them are feasible or possible or even probable, as we'll see in a second, but I think that there's some really good ideas in here, and it would be awesome to take a look at some of these and see if we can put them into the game. Anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first one here is from Skittles Typer, and we have also, I think you should add something like daily challenges to help spice up the game. Now, daily challenges are probably one of the most standard things in like literally any video game. I mean, at least the ones that I can think of have some sort of daily or weekly, basically a really regular, like simple challenge that you can do day by day to help get whatever. In this case, it would likely be cash or either smaller achievements based on how much content the Nitro Type is putting into the item shop. So I believe the idea behind daily challenges would be you have some sort of checklist of things that you want to accomplish in one day, and when you do get those things done, then you get some sort of reward, possibly cash, possibly other cool prizes, whatever it is. I think that this is a fantastic idea. I love this idea, and there's a reason that it's in basically every single game that I can think of. And the reason is it keeps players coming back day after day to actually play the game. Now, a lot of you guys may be like, well, Penguin, the item shop does that. It doesn't actually. The only reason the item shop keeps players like coming back to the game day after day is so they can buy something. They just log on, buy a couple items, whatever it is, and then they log off. They don't actually have to play the game. But if you introduce some sort of challenge system, then players actually have to log on and play the game. And depending on what types of challenges you want, then you can basically tailor how much you want people to play the game, etc., etc. Some challenges that I can think of off the top of my head are things like win 10 races, where you have to not only play the game, but you also have to win your race, which requires, actually trying. That could be a cool challenge, and you could probably get some sort of cash out of that. There could also be a challenge just for racing, like do 15 races, do 20 races or something. And I guess 20 would make sense because that's like the amount it takes to get one tier in the item shop, not in the item shop, in the season pass right now, so that could be kind of cool. Basically, a player could log on, they do 20 races, they get the tier in the pass, and they also get some sort of reward from a daily challenge. Now, this one might be a bit far-fetched, but you could also do some sort of speed daily challenge, like type X words per minute faster than your average speed. Obviously, people would cheat that, but for those of us who don't want to cheat our way out of challenges, that could be a really cool thing to do to make some sort of challenge. For instance, I average about 140 words per minute, and if there was a challenge for me to type 15 words per minute above that, 155, then that would be awesome, because that's A, difficult, but B, possible. And obviously it would be very different for every single typist. There's some people who average very close to, etc., etc. But the point is, if you could have some sort of feature where you have to type X words per minute above your average speed, that would be an awesome way to keep people improving and also just playing the game. So yeah, I love this idea of daily challenges. I think that some form of daily challenge 100% should be added to the game. I don't know if the admins are already working on it, but fantastic idea from Skills Typer, and let's move on to the next one. Now, as Nitro Type continues to add more and more different types of content into the game, and the soon, hopefully, drop of trails, this idea right here from Joey Phalange would be a pretty sweet idea. And I'll read it out for you. Add presets for your car, so for a specific car, you'd have a set of stickers, a title, and eventually a trail. I love this. This is the type of idea you'll find in a game like Rocket League, which is also heavily centered around the car you use, and it's basically a fantastic idea all around. Once Nitro Type starts to add more and more different types of loot, trails, name tags, animations, all that type of stuff, whatever it is, this idea will become better and better, because instead of having to switch everything you want each race or each different car you want to use, you can simply switch to a preset car which has everything you already want and race with that car. It's super practical, big time saving. You can set up like 5 to 10 presets of whatever you want and then race with those instead of having to switch everything whenever you want. This idea, it's fairly simple. I don't think I really need to go over that much. It makes sense. There should just be some sort of like, in the customizer, there should be a tab for presets. Then you can like select a preset, and then in the preset you like select what you want on it, and then it makes sense. It's a very simple idea, but it's also a very useful one. I'm the type of person who has a lot of like not achievements. I have a lot of like titles and now trails, even stickers, cars, whatever. And it would be super nice to be able to like mix and match all of these different rewards together to create presets, and then use those presets for whatever I want to use them for. So yeah, I love this idea. Definitely should be added into the game now that we have more and more different types of loot. And I think, honestly, it probably will. Honestly, I probably don't even need to like tell them to add this into the game. This will probably be added into the game soon because it's simply just a very logical thing to do. Great idea here. Alright, so this is more of I'd say a practical idea here from Sold to Gaming on Twitter and Nitro to YouTube, whatever. Basically, he introduces a nickname feature so that you can give your friends nicknames so you know who they are even if they change their name. This is something that I actually find really, really practical. And I'm used to this as well because people love to change their names on Nitro Type for whatever reason. And sometimes I just can't remember who someone is. And it's nice to be able to have some sort of like note or a nickname next to them so I know who they are. This is extremely helpful in like conversation on Discord because sometimes someone will put like a race link or a profile link in the chat. And I look at the profile and I'm like, I have no clue who this is, but it's all because they changed their name. So if there was some sort of note feature on Nitro Type where like next to a player's profile you could put a note, then just so you know who they are, or if you have anything you want to say about them or whatever, that would be super useful, and just so you can remember who everyone is. Now, this does seem like the type of thing that would require a lot of server space from Nitro Type. I don't know a lot about coding and servers and all that type of stuff, but it seems like if Nitro Type would have to save that feature for every single person, and it seems like a lot of data to me. I don't know if that's entirely possible, but I do really like the idea. I think it makes sense. It's super practical. I use it all the time. I would definitely use this all the time, and I just think it's a good idea all around. Whether or not it's possible or not, I have no idea. I'm not that good at coding or anything like that. I don't know a lot about running websites. But it does seem like a great idea, and if it were to be possible, I'd love to see this in the game. Obviously, this is the type of feature that wouldn't have a massive impact on the game. It would not change the game significantly in any way, shape, or form. It's just like a nice quality of life thing that they could add if they had time on their hands or whatever like that. Obviously, Nitro Type is working hard on a lot of different projects right now. They have a lot of stuff to do. So this definitely would not take precedence over anything. But if they do have some free time, this would be pretty cool to add into the game. Solid idea. Don't know if it's possible, but it is a great idea all around. Alright, so this next idea comes from Ultra, who responded to my YouTube post. Basically, he says, have any appropriate display name with emojis and special characters. Now, for those of you who don't know, you were used to be able to have emojis and special characters in your Nitro Type names, and then they removed it. However, anyone who still had those emojis and special characters kept them, which is why racers like notably Wildflower has special characters in her name. That's because you used to be able to do that, now you can't. And a lot of people, Ultra wasn't the only one, a lot of people actually suggested for Nitro Type to return to this and have appropriate display names with special characters in them and all that fun stuff. I like the idea, I think it's nice, however there's one small problem, which is the reason that they removed them in the first place. Using emojis and special characters, it's really easy to get past Nitro Type's filter, and because Nitro Type is mainly a kid's game, they can't have people writing like the F word and slurs and all that type of stuff in their username. There's an obvious reason that the rules are so strict on what you can actually put in your username and whatnot, and there's a lot of filters and stuff that stop you from writing curse words and all that type of stuff that's not good for kids. And so with special characters and emojis, it's very, very easy to get around these types of filters and basically put stuff in your names that would probably not be that good for children to be looking at. Do I think it's possible? Maybe if they were to make some sort of filter that like stops this from happening, that would be really cool. But I just have a feeling that that's really hard, if not impossible, to do so. So it feels like a nice idea, but at the same time, the drawback of having like all that profanity and stuff, I don't know. There was an obvious reason that I should have removed them from the game in the first place. Do I like it? No, it would be kind of cool to have some special characters in my name. I wouldn't do it, but like other people do like to do it. So yeah, it's a nice idea. But at the same time, I think that the reason that Nitro Type removed special characters in the first place is a good one. It's a solid reason. It's a good excuse. And so I don't think it would be pretty hard to convince them. They'd have to set up some sort of filter that like blocks profanity with special characters, which would be really, really hard to do. Just knowing the amount of special characters and emojis there are. So, is this a good idea? Maybe. Is it possible? Probably not. I like the idea. I think it's a good one, but at the same time, just like judging by the fact that they removed this in the first place, it's probably not the best idea to bring it back in. Our fifth and final idea comes from this dude Vulcan here, as well as a lot of other people. In fact, this was probably one of the ideas that I saw come up the most for some reason. Not sure how that one happened, but it did. Bring back practice races. So for those of you who might have joined the site in the last couple of years, practice races were an old feature on Nitro Type where you could basically race or practice race on your own like special track with no one else there. It was just against yourself. And basically, the races didn't count towards like your race count or your speed or whatever you want. And a lot of people, or the main reason for bringing back practice races would be so people can practice or warm up before a race or before playing Nitro Type so that they don't mess up their average speed or whatever they want. I like that. I'm the type of person who needs to warm up before they type just because I type fast. And so it takes me, 3 to 5 races every day just to warm up, and those 3 to 5 races are often pretty slow. They're actually really slow because I take a while to warm up. So it can be kind of annoying to see like a 136 or like a 129 or some random like BS on my screen, and when I'm just trying to warm up, and it can be kind of annoying at times, especially when people in the Nitro Type Discord are like, "OMG, Penguin's so slow," and it's like, no, I just got on, my hands are cold. Yeah. But at the same time, Nitro Type did remove practice races for a reason, and that's because according to Nitro Type, almost nobody did them. And I can't see anyone doing them exclusively now either. Especially now that Nitro Type has morphed into so much being about like botting and doing the most amount of races possible, I really can't see that many people actually using practice races because they don't contribute to your race count or your speed. The only reason you would use practice races is to warm up before you type, which is obviously a great idea, but the thing is you can also warm up while you type. So like if you're someone that doesn't care about their average speed, you can just warm up by doing a Nitro Type race. And I guarantee that like 99% of the people on this website don't care about their average speed. And I guarantee that 99% of people on this website would never use the practice race feature. I'm pretty sure even though I used to care about my speed, still do, I wouldn't use the feature just because I would rather just warm up where like a race counted towards my average, but also counted towards my total race count. Nitro Type is a lot about just doing races, playing the game a lot, and so when you're playing the game but it doesn't count towards your race count, a lot of people look at that and are like, well, I could just play the game normally. So I feel like while practice races were a good idea, they serve their purpose. Nitro Type's reason for removing them initially was also a very good one. Almost no one did them, and they were kind of not that popular. In fact, they were not popular at all. And so even if Nitro Type were to bring practice races back, I don't think that many people would use them, and they just don't seem that useful. It's a good idea, I like it, but it seems like so few people would ever use the feature to the point where you might as well just not have it. And for the people that would want to use the feature and don't want to warm up on Nitro Type, you can also just warm up on other typing sites. One of the biggest typing websites that I warm up on is Monkey Type, just because it doesn't count towards my speed or anything, and I can choose what type of mode to warm up on. I can do whatever I want on that site. I usually warm up for like 5 to 10 minutes, and not even 10, probably like 3 to 5 minutes before I just start playing Nitro Type. I just warm up on Monkey Type, and it works out all right. So while practice races do sound like a kind of a cool idea, at the end of the day, I don't think that many people would use them, and so there's not much of a point in having them. Good idea, but kind of unpopular, so oh well. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about the 5 ideas that I went over in this video. Also, if there's any admins watching, feel free to take these ideas and use them and credit whoever said them and all that type of stuff. I should have had the screenshots on here. I think I did actually, so let me know if that all, yeah. Basically add the things. There were a lot of good ideas in this video. I was super happy with some of the stuff that people showed, and I can't wait to see if hopefully some of this stuff gets added into the game. That would be really cool. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. Let me know. Yeah, anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone, and have, as always, a wonderful day. Peace.